the signal part of the challenge and password. You put the number 10, okay? But everybody that's inside the perimeter knows that number 10 is actually the number that they have to respond back is actually going to be one greater than the number that is the challenge number. So for example, 10 is our number, and we know that we need to actually go to 11. Okay, so if I say 6, then the guard should respond with the number 5. Okay, there's a lot that goes into that, and there's a lot of ways that you can do that, but that's just one example. But what that allows is both parties know that everything is okay. Okay, so for example, with the 10 challenge and password, if the guard says the challenge from the person coming into camp says 5, and the person at the perimeter says 5, then that's not the right number. That's 10 and not 11. So that could mean that something has been compromised, or that the camp is not secure, which should put the person trying to come in on alert, so that they can maybe help to take over and subdue whatever's going on inside the camp. Okay, so things to think about. So then there's a list of like points of contact, and this is especially helpful in the case of natural disasters. And on this list you have emergency numbers, you have a list of people that you need to be able to get a hold of: medical doctor, dentist, lawyer, mortgage company, all these different things. And if you contact me, I'll send you a copy of this list. Basically, I call it like household information. But you also have like the children's or schools, daycare, childcare, whatever it is. All of this information is on there, and you kind of keep this in a couple of different places so that it's secure, so that if something happens. So, for example, in the case of a wildfire, the place that you would put it is inside of a plastic sleeve, inside of a plastic bag that's sealed, and then you want to put that inside of like an empty Part8a box, okay, inside the freezer. And the reason you put it in the freezer is the freezer and the refrigerator will usually insulate better than a fireproof box, because there's been times where fireproof boxes, you open the box is fine, but you open the box and the papers inside are ash. Okay, but inside of a freezer, especially a deep freeze, it'll work to a degree on the freezer that's on top of your refrigerator or under your refrigerator, wherever it's at. But a deep freeze is the best. The other thing that you want to do is you want to put one of these copies in your bug out bag, so that if you have to bug out, you take your bug out bag, you have a list of this, so that after the event's over and the insurance agencies and stuff start to come to, so that you can start to rebuild, whether it's a flood or fire or whatever, but you got to get your home redone, especially in cases of like tornadoes, hurricanes. By having this information, you can establish your claim before the majority of the folks who don't have this information. Okay, so it's something that you should have. You should have a couple copies in a couple different places. I suggest the freezer, and deep freeze is the best. And I also suggest that you put one in your bug out bag or your get home bag. After you have your plan complete, then you should rehearse that plan and then evaluate what went right, what went wrong, what needs to be fixed. And then that's why I say that this is a living document. It's not something that you put together, stick it in the freezer, and pull it out only in case of emergency, because that's not what this document is for. It's meant to be rehearsed and practiced so that these actions that are before, during, and after the event become automatic. You do them, you can do these in your sleep, okay? But the other thing that it does is it allows you to evaluate that plan and make modifications. Now, it may not be that something needs to be changed in regards to an action that you need to take, but it may be a situation where a circumstance has changed somewhat and it's a contingency to the original plan. And then you come back to the original plan. But whatever it is, evaluate your plan periodically, at least every 6 months. I would recommend that you do that at least quarterly. Okay. So, like some examples, like during the event, you're going to want to seek shelter because you want to survive. Before you can do anything, you have to survive. And then again, reevaluate. Has something changed? Did something not work? Did I not have enough stuff of something? Okay. Always, always, always reevaluate after you've done this. So basically, you need to have a written plan, as we've discussed. It needs to be as detailed and specific as possible. You need to rehearse that plan, and then you need to modify the plan where it's needed. You need to make sure that your plan is kept secret and secure. You tell only those who have a need to know. When the event occurs, follow the plan that you have laid out, and then that will allow you to survive and then live after the event has happened. Okay, so I know we went through quite a bit of stuff. I know this is probably a pretty long video, and I will break it up into 10-minute segments as I did the first ones. Hopefully that everybody will be able to take a look at these, and they will help folks. Having a plan, having a written plan is actually having a plan. Anything else is an idea, not a plan. So make sure that you do this so that you can, make sure that those you care about will be safe during an emergency. Okay. Again, thank you for stopping by. We will, do some more of these videos later. To contact us, you can email me at guy@greatlivingsources.com. You can go to our website, greatlivingsources.com, and click on the contact button. You can go to any of our blogs, which there's a link on the greatlivingsources.com page. Each of those have links to contact us, or most of them should. You can contact us through the links that are underneath the video. You can leave a comment on the YouTube channel itself, or you can contact us through Facebook, GL Sky, or Great Living Sources CO. However you're going to, or whatever you're going to do, you need to make sure you do it before the event occurs. And there's so much talk about different events on mainstream news, on alternative news, that there is something is coming. How bad it's going to be, I can only guess. My philosophy is to plan for the worst and pray for the best. It's been pretty much my motto for years now. So when you're doing the plan for the worst that could possibly happen during that plan. Okay? And if you do, and the worst comes, then you're ready. If you do and the worst doesn't come, then you're still ready. Okay? So it doesn't matter if the worst comes or not. Either way, you're still ready. If you plan for less than the worst, then the worst comes. It's a little harder to catch up. than it is to be ahead of the game and you need to have the, than it is to be ready and not have to worry about it. All right. So thank you for joining us. Look forward to talking to you again soon. Thank you. Bye.